So as we reimagine that night over 2,000 years ago, envision the young couple arriving in the town of Bethlehem as Mary was about to give birth. Mary and Joseph likely didn't go knocking on every door, and there were no hotels or inns, as we know today. There could have been lodgings, but not like motels or hotels as we know today, so that's what she's saying. Their only option was to find a relative who might have welcomed them in, or to find a stranger who would have willingly offered them a room in their home for a price. But we know that didn't happen. So that's a picture of possibly what it could have looked like back then. To complicate the overcrowding in Bethlehem because of the census, there was a greater problem for the young couple. Our Christian guide in Bethlehem, okay, so she's saying her Christian guide was showing Lado Shio, noted that any Jew would have recognized Mary was about to give birth. That meant blood would be shed, making their host's home ceremonially unclean. Ceremonially unclean. So in the law, it talks about ceremony. It talks about clean and unclean, and it was like referring to like bacterial infection in blood and stuff. Like there needed to be proper. It was basically they seen that she was pregnant, and they knew that she was about to give birth, and they didn't want to deal with that. And like they would need the resources to help this woman give birth as she went into labor. So like they didn't want to deal with the pregnant woman, so they turned her away. That's kind of sad. It's kind of crazy, but I'll talk about that more later. Mary and Joseph's option was to accept the only accommodation available, a stable or a cave of some sort. Caves and stones were the building materials of the most structures back in ancient times. Caves and stones were the building materials of most structures back in ancient times. Jesus' birthplace may have been a cave for the livestock with a person's house built on top. But it was most likely that Jesus was born at Migdal Eder, or the Tower of the Flock. The shepherds used this watchtower from ancient times for protection from their enemies and wild beasts who stalked the flocks. It was also where they brought the ewes to deliver their lambs. That's pretty symbolic right there. That's pretty cool. A ewe, so if you don't know what a ewe is, it is a female sheep. So there's the animal, the sheep. A male sheep is known as a ram, and the female sheep is known as a ewe. And then the baby sheep is known as a lamb. So I never knew that. I just thought they were sheep. I thought there was like a male sheep and a female sheep. It was the male sheep is the ram, the female sheep is the ewe, and then the baby sheep is the lamb. And then goats, I don't know what goats are. I think they're like a separate kind of species or something. Similar animal, but I think they're different species. Probably within the same species, just a different kind of animal. I don't know about goats, but I know about sheep. Migdal Eder, located about 2,000 paces from Bethlehem, was a tower on the road between Bethlehem and Jerusalem. Migdal Eder is Bethlehem, where they're supposed to be staying, and then there's Jerusalem, the capital. All the way down there. Migdal Eder, located about 2,000 paces from Bethlehem, was a tower on the road between Bethlehem and Jerusalem, and is mentioned in the Old Testament by the prophet Micah, who foretold the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem, and he would come to the tower of the flock. Micah 4:8. Now this is what I was talking about Mary giving birth and everything. Micah 4:8. And you, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion. You know what? I'm just going to read this in the Bible. I got this here right here. I got this open here. I'll just read this in the Bible and I'll read on. So I'll do 4:8 through 13. It says, and you, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, unto you shall it come, even the first dominion. The kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem. Now why do you cry out aloud? Is there no king in you? Is your counselor perished? For pangs have taken you as a woman in travail. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shall you go forth out of the city, and you shall dwell in the field, and you shall go even to Babylon. There shall you be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem you from the hand of your enemies. Now also many nations are gathered against you that say, Let her be defiled. Let our eye look upon Zion. But they know not the thoughts of the Lord, neither understand they his counsel. For he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make your horn iron, and I will make your hooves brass, and you shall beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their grain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. So this was basically prophecy of what Mary was going through. Like, it must have felt like she was like bearing this child, and it was probably shameful that like she was pregnant with, it says in the Bible that she was pregnant by the Holy Spirit, and Joseph was looking to put her away, but an angel came in his dream and said, this is not, she didn't have fornication, she didn't cheat on you, she didn't sleep with someone before marriage, this is of the Holy Spirit. Don't put her away, this is of God, she's good. And so basically she was feeling despair, as if God had she was feeling despair. It says, now why do you cry out aloud? Is there no king in you? Is your counselor perished? For pangs have taken you as a woman in travail. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion. So she was giving birth, and she must have felt like possibly alone. She must have felt possibly like maybe abandoned, but the Lord was saying, I'm with you, and I'm going to bring this through, and you're going to make it through. I have greatness for you. I have my thoughts towards you are for good, and you're going to make it through this. Don't, I'm here with you. Is this not the king inside of you? Is this not what is being brought forth of God? And so as she brought this forth, I assume that people probably shamed her and defiled her and said, and not defiled her, but shamed her and been like, look at that, that's a bunch of garbage. Let her be defiled. Let her be worthless. She got pregnant before she was married, and probably slandered her and made her feel horrible. But it said that this was of the Lord. This was of God's doing. That this was the Lord. God was it was. She must have felt ashamed and completely humiliated by everyone that she went to. But she endured through, and she overcame it because God was with her. It says right here, it says, but they know not the thoughts of the Lord, neither understand they his counsel, for he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. So those people who were antagonizing her and shaming her, it was that God was going to, God was using that to propulsion her to rise above and basically his thoughts and his plans for her were greater than what they could say, and slander her and diminish her and discourage her for being pregnant outside of marriage, when in fact it was God who had impregnated her with the Son of God, and this was God birthing Jesus Christ through her. And so it was saying that although they shamed her, he was giving her dominion over them, and that she was going to overcome them. And it says, arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make your horn iron, and I will make your hooves brass. You shall beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their grain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. So it was saying arise and keep pursuing after me, and overcome them, and I will give them to you, and you will overcome them. Basically, through that opposition, she'll arise and become greater and overcome them. And it was like the Lord had a greater plan for her, that she would overcome those who were slandering her and shaming her and thinking that she was doing something abasing, something that was bad, when in fact it was good. What was in her, what was being birthed through her, was the Son of God. And And so this kind of like shows the behind the scenes of the character of Mary, that she had a resilient character and overcame such like adversity and such heartache as such at a young age, and overcame such things. And and man, so she was a mighty woman of God. She was awesome. She was great. She was not someone to play around with. She was like, I mean, like, she wasn't someone to mess around with. Like, she wasn't like this like feeble, weak little girl. She was a mighty woman of God, and like she had overcome heartache and um and hardship, and had to overcome it, and she overcame it, and God strengthened her. It was like she was it was like the Lord was on her side, and strengthening her to overcome her enemies. So Micah, but I say Micah, according, but you can say Micah. Uh, Micah 4:8 through 13. It shows the context of Mary and what she felt, what she was going through, and everything. But yeah, and also it's also it shows the context of Mary. So yeah, it says basically I was saying, like, it was in the Tower of the Flock, which was Migdal Eder right here, which was where that location was at. So that's what that says. And it says, as Christians, we know that all the prophecies concerning. Okay, so it was also Micah's prophecies about. Wow. So yeah, so it was okay. So Micah prophesied about that. Micah, hold on. Micah. Um, was Micah around? Active in the southern kingdom of Judah during the late 8th century BC, prophesying during the reigns of King Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, which spans roughly from 740 BC to 687 BC. So he prophesied this, prophesied about this in around the time of 740 and 687. That was nearly 600 to 700 years before Mary and Joseph. Mary was even impregnated by the Holy Spirit, and gave birth to Jesus. So it was